Want to get creeped out? Welcome to Just a Little Stitious.
Where things go bump in the night, and sometimes it's just your fridge.
Or us tripping over furniture. Or something terrifying, lurking in the dark. Welcome back. That didn't sound good.
No.
Welcome back. If you don't know, I'm Megan.
I'm Jessica.
We are sisters, and we like delivering spookiness to you. Are you excited that it's going to be spooky season?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And not only that, I cook. It's crock pot season. It's soup season.
Oh, nice.
It's bread season. Although I make bread all year, but it's just extra good in the fall.
That's true. I cannot wait to come to your house and eat soup and bread.
I always make homemade dinner rolls too for them.
Of course. Fancy.
With a homemade garlic butter. But
oh, wow.
I also made cheese.
You made cheese?
I did. I made cheese.
What? How?
Cheese. I used my Dutch oven on the stove.
How was it?
Cheese. Mozzarella.
I'm just processing that I'm related to someone who makes cheese. I make dinner in the microwave and sometimes the air fryer.
Anywho,
what are you going to tell me about today?
The S.K. Pierce mansion. I read a book. It's called Bones in the Basement, and it is the story of a couple named Edwin and Lillian who moved into the house.
Or Lillian, we're not sure.
Sorry.
Jessica's French and can't control herself, so we are not sure.
It's just, it's the same thing. It's just people pronounce.
Right. You're just pronouncing it in French.
So this mansion was built by a man named S.K. Pierce. He was a self-made man. He owned a really successful furniture store, but he grew up poor. He basically wanted a mansion that was befitting of his
success,
new status. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like he was one of the wealthiest men in the country in 1875.
Okay.
So they build the house, they move in. His wife, she passes away 2 weeks after moving in. And then followed by her death. He dies in the house. His second wife dies in the house. His granddaughter dies in the house at the age of 2 years old. Yeah. And his daughter-in-law dies in the house. And the daughter-in-law is the mother of the 2-year-old who passed away.
Wow. Yeah. So right off the bat, there is a lot of death.
Before Edwin and Lillian buy this house, there's a couple named Mark and Suzanne who live in the house. And they owned it from the year 2000 to 2006. Before them was a man named Jay Stemmerman who put hundreds of thousands of dollars into repairing the house. And he mysteriously left it vacant for 20 years. He still owned it, but vacant for 20 years. He did not live there. Nobody knows why he left. And then
very strange.
Very weird. So Mark and Suzanne, they bought it after this guy. They knew it was haunted. They knew stuff was going on.
How did they know?
They had a contractor who came to the house. I think they were telling him about some experiences that they had, and the contractor happened to have 2 nieces who were mediums. They came to the house and they told Mark and Suzanne about this woman, Maddie. She was a nanny for the Pierce children. She passed away at 25 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was in the house taking care of
the children.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was also a little boy.
Okay.
In the house. We don't know age. Just know that he was there. And there was this man. His name was Bill Wallace. Picture. He didn't know Mark and Suzanne, but he had this just obsession with the house. Like he was a medium. He was super fixated on the house. One day he just went and knocked on the door, met them, became friends. And he immediately started talking to Maddie.
Okay.
And he found out that there's something in the house that these spirits, they don't like it.
Oh.
He doesn't know what it is. He knows that it's in the basement.
Interesting.
But he said they will know when they find it.
That's strange.
One day, Suzanne finds something that's not cool. It's a jar full of swastikas.
What
now,
the fuck?
Yeah. Now, I'm a bit confused, but I don't know if it's a jar that has drawings of swastikas. I don't know if it has those bands. I don't know.
Whoa.
But she finds this jar, brings it outside, throws it out. And when she threw it away, she felt this gust of wind go past her.
Weird. Oh God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's very strange. I'll add mediums that came into the house when Suzanne and Mark were living there. They all kind of caught wind of Maddie, a little boy, and a man who had breathing problems.
Okay.
So Edwin and Lillian They live in a house in Boston, and Lil's sister. Oh, I said it right that time. I just realized. I said Lil.
You did.
I did. Yeah, that was good.
And then you gave her a nickname, which I love.
Lil, yeah. I wrote it like that because it's just Lil's sister shows her a listing for this Victorian mansion, and she's like, I have to go. She becomes like obsessed. She said that she felt like she had this like magnetic pull, telling her that like she just had to go see it. She had always loved Victorian mansions. And this one in particular was orange. Picture here.
Yep. And if you're listening, make sure you go check out our Instagram because pictures will be there as well.
And the thing was with this is Edwin did not understand her compulsive need to go see this house. It was very strange for her. She was a woman of routine and consistency. She was predictable.
Right.
To him. This was not normal. Before they went to go see the house, Edwin had a dream about the ladies' parlor. But then they went to go see the house, and the ladies' parlor he dreamt of exactly the same.
That's very
He'd never
weird.
seen inside the house, never been there, no pictures.
So I'm assuming this was unusual for him to have like this kind of premonition dream.
Very weird. Very weird.
Wow.
Lillian and Edwin, they go see the house, and immediately she loves it. She takes out her phone. She wants to take pictures of it. The real estate agent tells her you can't take pictures because I guess a bunch of paranormal investigators or people, they would say they want to buy the house, but then they would just step inside and like fuck off to go take videos and try to talk to the ghosts.
Gotcha.
Tip move, if you ask me.
Totally.
Not cool. So anyway, Lillian is super excited. She's imagining herself living in there. They go home. Her sister shows her a video that she found of paranormal investigators walking through the house saying that it's haunted. And Lil, she's like, no, people just make stuff up. She doesn't believe in ghosts. She's
Gotcha.
Edwin, on the other hand, he's not so sure.
Right.
He's kind of on the fence of the paranormal. He's not entirely convinced, but he's not going to shut it down either.
Gotcha.
They go to view the house for a second time. She's allowed to take pictures this time. So right before she leaves the house, she puts brand new batteries in her camera. She gets to the place, starts snapping a couple pictures.
Yeah.
Dead. Right away.
Lots of spirits in that house then, I guess.
Yeah. So suck the energy right out of there.
Crazy.
So Edwin, at this point, he's still feeling unsure about the house, but he's very excited looking at Lil and the thought of being a homeowner because they rented.
Okay.
And the thought of being a homeowner, and not only that, but like owning a Victorian mansion as your first home.
Amazing.
Cool.
Jealous.
And not only that, but his job had just offered him a work from home position that he could do from anywhere in the state as long as he had internet.
Wow.
Oh, and I want to add, this place was in Gardner, Massachusetts. Gotcha. Okay, so anyway, they go home. Edwin starts doing research about the house to find out whether it's really haunted or not. He wants to know what's going on. He does find a book called Haunted Massachusetts. They do talk about this man who had supposedly spontaneously combusted into flames on his bed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the man that he's talking about, this did happen. Eno Sarid lived in the house. He made moonshine in the basement. He's a big drinker, big smoker. And from the sounds of it, not the greatest dude.
Oh.
He goes to bed, and the thought was kind of that he was smoking a cigarette, fell asleep in bed, up in flames. The weird thing is, big flames, he's dead, burnt to death. Bed is burnt. The ground is untouched. The walls untouched. The ceiling is untouched. So it's just him and the bed.
Yeah, that is interesting. It didn't spread.
There was not even any black.
Oh, wow.
Anything on the walls, the floors, the ceilings, nothing.
Interesting.
It was very weird.
Maybe Maddie was still cleaning.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
Seriously. So Edwin told Lillian about that. He was a little concerned. Lillian, like, kind of was like, people just make stuff up. Like, who cares? Get over it. And then Edwin, they signed the paperwork for the house the day before Thanksgiving, but they didn't move in until April of 2009 because of the cold weather. And the house had no electricity. It had no heat. It was cold.
Wow. That's also kind of wild for your first home to not have electricity.
I know, right? Even though they weren't living there, Lillian, like, she just felt the need to go to the house and decorate it. So she went, and in the ladies' parlor, they had a mantle. She put garland on there, some reindeer, some big globes, stuff like that. She goes home. The next week, she comes back, and one of those globes is on the middle of the floor. She thinks it's weird, but she picks it back up, and she, like, tucks it in around the garland.
Thinking it could have just fallen
Thinking
off.
it probably just,
rolled off.
And rolled off. And then once again, she comes back the next week. It's on the floor again. So then she's like questioning, like, okay, is this house really haunted? No, puts it back on the mantle, forgets about it. Now, the first family members to come, they weren't living there yet, but it was her sister Bridget and Bridget's son Rio. And they came to see the house, have lunch. When they got there, they were showing them around. They go to the ladies' parlor. Leo points at the globe on the middle of the floor and he goes, what's with that? And she is like, oh my gosh, like this is the third time it's been there. I don't know. So then Edwin picks it up, puts it back on the mantle.
Yeah.
Whatever, they keep going around. So then they're having their lunch. They start eating and Lillian gets up. She wants to go to the basement, get something or whatever. And they hear this huge, loud bang.
When she's down there?
When she's, after she left.
Okay.
So they all jump up expecting to like find her at the bottom of the stairs, like she fell. But they get there and she's coming back up the stairs asking them what happened. So then they're all kind of freaked out and they go room to room trying to figure out like what happened. But every room is basically empty. They don't have much furniture there yet.
Right.
So they're kind of a bit like, okay, freaked out.
But what was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see that.
I mean, so they go back to finish their lunch and they're eating their lunch. And all of a sudden, this big metal planter slides several inches across the floor and it sounds like thunder.
Oh my God.
And Edwin goes over to it expecting it to be like really light. It's very heavy. It's like one of those old school metal planters. They're very heavy.
Wow. That's crazy. I would know right then and there that the house is haunted. Like they visually saw this.
Yeah, they visually saw it.
Okay.
They're freaked out and they kind of all jump and they're like, okay, we're going to go. So they are about to leave and Edwin notices the light of the ladies' parlor room on through the crack of the door and Lillian had shut it off. So he was like, the light, and Lil goes back in to shut the light. Globe's in the middle of the floor again.
Fuck. This ghost or entity wants to be known, clearly.
Yeah. So they're just really messing with them right now.
Yeah.
Lil goes back to the house afterwards and she's cleaning, bringing boxes, and she goes into the basement and she's vacuuming up cobwebs. There's tons of them. And it's one of those like shop vacs.
Okay.
So she's vacuuming up the cobwebs and vacuum turns off by the switch. Puts it back on.
What do you mean by the switch? Like there was like a...
There's like those shop vacs have a switch and on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So the switch was off.
Oh, shit. Weird. Okay.
So she starts doing it again, off again by the switch. And then she gets kind of frustrated and she's like, okay, like, I don't know if I believe in you guys, but if you are here, stop it. I need to get this done. Kind of like scolding the ghosts.
Right. Yeah.
So she turns back on and it stays on this time.
Interesting. Okay.
Throughout the winter, she kept going back and forth from the house to clean, bring boxes, get ready for the spring to move in. And she said that every single time she went to the house, she could not shake the feeling that she was being watched. And this one time she's in the basement and she sees this shadow like dart across the room, which is odd because all of the windows in the basement are boarded up.
Oh.
So it doesn't really make much sense, but she's like, whatever. And she just keeps doing her thing. And then she sees the shadow again. And she says that it was different this time. It didn't dart away when she saw it. It just very slowly started moving. And she said that it seemed like it moved with intention.
Ew.
Like it wanted her to see it. Like the thing was acknowledging that she was seeing it.
Right.
And it floated up above her head. It was up above her head. She's kind of freaked out. She puts her hand above thinking maybe it's me, and it just stays there. And it stays for several seconds before it melts into the ceiling.
Oh my fucking Jesus. Okay.
And she said that it was long, it was skinny, and it was dark, so dark that she could not see through it at all.
Weird. Oh, that is I would be so scared.
Well, it's freaky. Like she said, it didn't float across the room like a regular shadow.
Yeah.
Right? Like it moved with intention.
That would be absolutely terrifying because usually most people when they see something it's for like a split second and that's
freaky. She could not think of a rational explanation for it. In that moment, she knew in her gut, like, okay,
the house is haunted.
The house is haunted. And then she goes home that day and Edwin is watching a paranormal show on TV, which he's doing a lot lately now that they bought a haunted house.
That's so funny.
So he walks through the door and he's like, Lillian, look at this. And she goes, that's nothing compared to what I saw today. And she just walks away. And Edwin, he said that he knew not to ask her. If she wasn't telling him, she wasn't going to. And he left her alone. She never told him.
I have a question. Was this book written by one of them?
It was written by their friend.
Oh, okay.
She's in the author's notes. She came to the house a lot to investigate, but she didn't put herself in the book.
Okay.
It's about them, not her.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyway, they move in April of 2009. They have these 2 Maltese dogs, very happy dogs, happy-go-lucky, just living their best life, I guess. And then they move to the house. The dogs are no longer happy-go-lucky dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotta pay attention to your animals, folks.
Mm-hmm. The dogs often would stand at the bottom of the grand staircase, which is massive, and they would just be growling, staring up, and the hairs on the backs of the dogs' necks would be standing up. Lil would go up the stairs and she'd try and call them, and they just would not. They would not go up there.
That's very, very creepy.
And Lillian did some research that said that the house was a boarding house between 1926 and 1965.
Oh, interesting.
And that a known prostitute was killed in the red room, which is really just a bedroom, and it's red.
Right.
Red wallpaper and stuff like that. They said what she found was that she was strangled on the bed because one of her clients did not like her services.
Oh my goodness.
So they killed her, strangled her, stuffed her in a body, stuffed her body in a closet.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Since that time, people had complained about having a hard time breathing, and especially women felt this extreme sense of discomfort.
Interesting.
And Lil, she researched it further. There was never any hard documentation to like really support the claims. So, you know, we don't know if there was actually a prostitute killed in the room or not.
Right.
But
okay.
And they slept in the red room for a while they finished the master bedroom, and they would go to sleep. Edwin woke up several hours later. The dogs, they were growling in the hallway.
Oh gosh.
Outside the bedroom. And these dogs, they didn't do that.
Okay.
And Edwin was staring at the dark doorway. And as his eyes were like kind of adjusting, he saw a dark shape take form. It was tall, thin, and dark as night, and it moved very slowly. It slowly moved across the hallway towards this, I guess, like a small table that was opposite of the red room. And he tried to close his eyes, and he opened them, and the shape was still there. His legs were trembling. The shape turned towards him, and he tried to like nudge Lil to wake her up.
Oh.
And she didn't wake up. When he turned back, it was gone.
Creepy.
After hours of being kept awake, he did manage to fall asleep, but he woke up in the morning freezing. Like this house, as I said, not heated, and they slept with separate blankets. His blankets were off and in a perfect pile, just feet away from the bed.
Oh gosh.
And Lil's were still, she was still like cocooned up in her blankets, like all cozy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like something pulled his blankets off.
Super.
Oh God, I would lose my shit if that happened.
Yeah. So the shadow appearing, that would continue to happen every single night that they slept in the red room, and a little bit when they were in the master as well. So Edwin did some research. He thought it was a shadow person, which he learned they're evil and they can be quite dangerous, whereas like a ghost is generally harmless. So he was just really hoping it was a ghost, but he was pretty sure it was a shadow person. Some mornings he would wake up and he would hear this like beautiful voice singing, and he would try to wake up Lil to hear it herself. And every time she woke up, it immediately stopped.
So it only wanted him to hear the beautiful voice.
Yes.
Okay.
There was one night he woke up in the middle of the night to their door slamming shut with so much force that it shook the whole entire room. Edwin got up to go look in the hallway and he saw nothing. Lil was like terrified in the bed. Edwin turns back, and the closet that was like somewhat open right beside the bed, it began slowly closing shut and then just slammed with another big bang. Both of them are like shaking. The dogs are barking. Like everyone's going crazy.
That's so scary.
And they were still at this point telling themselves there has to be a rational explanation for this stuff. Like by the sounds of it, they believed it was haunted, but I don't think they really realized
like to what extent.
Yeah. And that this was the cause. The ghosts were causing this.
Right.
All this stuff to happen.
Right.
And the day after that happened, Ed was working from home in his office, and without warning, something swooped into the room and up in front of him, and he was face to face with this apparition of this terrifying man who had jet black eyes, bags beneath them, and he looked like he had lived a very hard life. Ed said that he looked angry.
Oof.
And Ed flung himself away from the entity, hitting the floor, and then he turned back to look at it and it was gone. So now they're both like fully convinced this house is like hella haunted.
Yeah.
Like shit's popping up in our face here.
Wow.
That's not cool.
That's crazy.
So Ed, I don't know how he got Mark's number, but Mark Vaux, the man who owned the house before them, he got their number, called him. And Mark told Ed that they had a lot of similar experiences, but Mark and Suzanne, they were never afraid living in the house, which like interesting.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
So obviously whatever was happening with them didn't feel malevolent or anything.
No. spring turns to summer, all this scary shit's happening constantly. Ed's outside one day and one of his neighbors introduced himself to him. And he says something along the lines of like, you guys must be so busy with that little boy I see you running through the house and the windows all the time. And Ed's like confused. He's like, we don't have children. And the guy looks scared. And he's like, I see a child running back and forth into your house all day long. And yeah.
What?
And so that freaked Edwin out. And then this neighbor also told them that while they were not living there over the winter, he saw lights flickering on and off in the house all the time. And there's no electricity in the house in the winter.
Just in the winter? There was no electricity? Or they hadn't had it installed yet?
They didn't have electricity in the house yet. There's electricity now.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
But
that's weird.
Yeah. Super weird.
Huh.
So another neighbor moved into the other side of the house. It was a rental.
Yeah.
Edwin would be working in his office and he would see this little boy looking up at the house all the time. And then this one day they're outside and the mother of the child and the child come up to him. She's like, my son would really like to play with your little boy. And and Ed was like, I don't have children. And she almost like thought he was lying. So he brought them into the house, showed them around. This little boy, he ran straight up the grand staircase into the hallway.
Like the woman's son.
Yeah. And she was like, look, Mom, like this is where the little boy said that we're going to play. Like we're going to throw a ball in here. Like this child was talking to this ghost.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Through the window of the house though, somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously they go, there's no child to play with.
Yeah.
So they leave. Ed would continuously see this little boy staring up at the house, like just mesmerized on this one window. And then shortly after they moved out of that house because the mom was like, I'm getting my kid out of here. He's talking to ghosts.
Right.
Something's happening. She dipped out.
That's so fascinating because I've literally never heard of people moving out of their house because the house next door is haunted. That's a new one.
I know, right? So Andrew Lake, he's a paranormal investigator. He knocks on their door one day. He wants a tour of the house. He's writing a book. He wants to put a chapter about their house in the book or something. And Edwin agrees. He takes him to the basement. And Andrew says he got a really weird feeling. And he asked if he could bring a psychic. Ed agreed. A couple days later, Andrew calls Ed, tells him that him and the psychic are 5 minutes away. And right after he said that, the screen flew off the window and hit the wall at the other end of the room. And there was absolutely no wind that day.
That's so... And also, like, even if there was wind, that'd have to be like a very strong wind to blow a screen out of a window.
Because there's holes, right?
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense.
The medium gets there and like, she's the real shit because she grabs his hands and she immediately drops them. She's like, who's Isabella? That was his godmother who died when Ed was like a little kid.
Yeah.
And the medium starts walking around the house as if she's being pulled from one direction to another. She said there's not much activity on the first floor, so they go up to the second, and she just made a beeline for the master bedroom. And then she stops. She turns to them and she says, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but there's been a man following us around. He made moonshine in this place and he died here. There was an accident, a fire that I picked up on. He's a nice, funny guy, but he's angry at me for telling you. And then she told him that that guy does not care for her much.
Interesting. So obviously that's the guy who passed away in the bed.
Yeah, I mean...
I wonder if that's also the guy that Ed saw come up in his face too.
Right? I know. We don't find out either. Yeah. She asked Ed if he ever hears a woman singing in the mornings. And he said, yes. And she said, you need to listen harder because she's trying to tell you something. So he's like, okay, cool. And then they go to the third floor and they walked into the billiards room, which sounds to me like it's like a pool room that used to be there. And that's a room that was known that S.K. Pierce brought his rich, famous friends, like even like a president at the time.
Ooh, fancy.
Very fancy. And she walks towards this closet that's kind of tucked away in the corner. And she tells them that there is a portal in that closet, you know, a doorway for the spirits to come in and out.
Interesting.
I want to note that Lillian, her experience with these ghosts was calm. Like it almost touched her on a deeper level. She felt a maternal feeling towards these ghosts, whereas Edwin is just mortified.
Yeah, he's freaked out.
Don't blame him.
Which is interesting because he went in believing in ghosts and she went in not believing in them. And then she's like, all right. Like,
yeah, she's like, what else? No,
yeah.
Who cares?
Crazy. Okay.
So things calm down for a little bit until mid-October. Middle of the night, he wakes up to the sound of footsteps above him. And then eventually the footsteps are coming closer into the bedroom and then up to the bed, and then they stop. And he lays there awake for 25 minutes, and then they start receding.
So something just stood there watching him for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
terrifying.
Oh, God.
I would be able to lay there.
No, I wouldn't. I would never sleep again.
I would run away.
Wow.
So then in November, Edwin wakes up early one morning, and Lillian, she's in her good clothes.
Okay.
And not like her. She always dresses nice, and she really cares about her appearance. She was always really well put together, but not her good clothes.
Right. It's just random.
He asked her, like, why are you wearing that? She kind of ignored him, and he was like, whatever. And he went to work in the office. And then he realized while he's working that he doesn't hear her, doesn't know where she is. So he goes down to the basement, he finds her, and she's digging in the summer kitchen, which I still,
Well, we're pretty sure that a summer kitchen is
in the basement because it's hot.
It's for in the summer, so you don't heat the house up even more.
But when, like, they don't specify on what she's digging in, he just says digging in the summer kitchen. So I don't know if that means like in cupboards, in
the ground, if it's like a dirt floor or
but okay. So she's digging in it, and she's covered in soot from head to toe, covered in soot in her good clothes.
Right.
Like, weird,
strange.
So Ed asks her what she's doing. She turns around, and it's like she doesn't even know what she's saying.
Oh, God.
He asks her again, and she kind of snaps, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And Ed is like, oh, okay. And he goes back up, goes back to work. And then
it's almost like she's like possessed or like being called so hard to do something.
Yeah. So weird. So strange. And then a little while later, she comes up into Edwin's office, smiling, happy, covered in soot. And she's very happy to tell him that she found a pelvic bone, a newspaper clipping from 1910, a Gardner clip, and small pieces of bones. Edwin asked her, like, how she knows it's a pelvic bone. Like, she's never seen one. She's like, I just know. That's weird. Edwin takes the bone to a doctor, and he confirms it is a pelvic bone of a child. And I will add, there was a police investigation. They did look into it, but the bone was so old, and there was just really no evidence to even show that anything happened to a child in the home.
Nothing came of that.
Nothing happened. Lillian got to keep the bone. And
that is very concerning.
It was so weird. And then for days afterwards, Lillian, she was not herself. It was like she was just sleepwalking all day long, and she was like obsessed with the bone. Like, she carried it everywhere with her.
Like a dog with a bone.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Oh, God.
And then, so now April rolls around, and so I guess it's, following year, and Lil is organizing. She's organizing the basement. She's got a jar of nails, and she's hanging stuff up, whatever she's doing with nails. She goes outside for a quick smoke break, comes back in, jar of nails is gone. So she's like, she goes upstairs, talks to Ed. She's like, what the fuck you doing with my nails? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she goes back down, and she cannot find them.
Okay.
1 year later, she finds them on the ledge of the cistern, full of a year's worth of cobwebs. They couldn't get into the area where the cistern was for a while because...
Like at the time that the nails went missing?
Yeah, they couldn't get in there because there was water around.
Oh.
So they didn't go in there.
And for anyone who doesn't know, a cistern is
indoor well.
Kind of. I've lived in a house that had an actual well in the basement, but it's like a bigger stone type well. It's bigger than a regular well, though. We'll put a picture of a cistern. I
actually have a picture of a cistern.
Oh, perfect.
It's a square.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a cistern. I don't think they really use them too much anymore or build them in houses anymore, but correct me if I'm wrong.
So she thinks, I'm not sure why she thinks this, maybe because she knows the pelvic bone is a little boy's bone, but she thinks that this ghost is a little boy playing pranks on her, basically.
Okay.
Because all the time she's putting stuff down and turns around and then it's gone. And she'll either find it right away in a different room or not for a year.
Yeah,
and it happens all the time. Another thing is she was all alone one day and she hears this big roar. And she said it sounded like demonic. It shook the entire house. There was really no explanation for it. She's home all by herself. Doesn't make sense. So I think Edwin was kind of freaked out. He wanted to know more about the house. So he decided to make a Facebook page about the house, hoping to get some more information. Maybe somebody could help them or help rid them of the ghosts. And he starts getting just bombarded by all of these paranormal investigators wanting to come and check out the house.
Right.
And Ed, he's like people pleaser. And he's like,
sure.
Hey, come on.
Well, gotcha.
Several of these paranormal investigators that came to the house, they picked up on like the same kind of vibes, same ghosts, same kind of
So they're
level for the
okay.
They were all pretty similar.
Interesting.
I do find that interesting. This one group, they're not named, but they bring a medium to the house, and the medium pulls Ed aside and she tells him she knows that Lil is talking to the ghosts and she needs to be very, very careful because things are not always how they seem. And a lot of time they will pretend to be something very benign, like a little boy, to gain your trust. And that's how they get in. That's how they gain access to people. And it's just not always what they see.
The Sally House vibes.
So then there's the other one, Kim Huertes. She's a psychic medium. She comes to the house. She says it's one of the most haunted locations she's ever been to. One of her team members, while they were up on the second floor, kind of near the stairs, she felt two hands grab her around her neck and push her. And she almost fell right down the stairs. But they grabbed her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like backwards also.
That's intense.
Which is even more terrifying. After Kim and her team left, they all continued to have things happen in their own homes. Phone lines would be all messed up. Things would disappear, then reappear elsewhere. Dark shadows would move across the walls without explanation. Kim returned many times to the house. She felt super drawn to the house. It was just, she felt like she had to just keep coming back.
Interesting.
She went to the basement and she felt that something very bad happened there. I don't know if she was seeing it or hearing it or whatever, but kids running and cowering and running for their lives. Another psychic that came to the house with this woman named Sandy McLeod, who is a paranormal investigator, told them that something was going on in the basement, and she kept hearing the same word over and over in her head. It was secret.
Oh, God. This is, that's not.
Yeah.
Not a good combo of things that you're saying here.
Both Kim and Sandy said that the ghosts in the house were advanced in their capabilities and that they were more dangerous than any person should have to handle.
Oh, if someone told me that, I would not be able to sleep.
I know. Now, another medium, Heather Anderson, and Lucky, she's a paranormal investigator, and she runs a team, New England Paranormal Society. Lucky is the founder.
Okay.
They both believe that the woman in the red room was hostile and aggressive, and that any harm that came to people on the second floor, they believed to be her. So like that chick who was almost shoved down the stairs, they think it was the prostitute from the red room.
Interesting.
But it's interesting because no one else picked up on that.
Right.
Only these two did. Well, thus far.
Okay.
And they said that she was an extremely dangerous entity. Heather opened herself up to channel an entity, and the red room woman entered. A team member, Bob, began asking questions, and she pushed him really hard. He went flying across the room and almost out, because they were on the third floor now, I should mention that. He almost flew out the third floor window.
Oh, wow.
But Heather's husband caught him.
Oh, wow. That is a very powerful ghost or entity or whatever it is.
Yeah. And then Heather came to. She was super shaken up and dizzy and sick. They had to like help her get out of the house. And she said that she felt violated all the way down to her core.
I don't think that I would ever want to channel anything through me.
No, that's terrifying. I feel like that's just asking for problems.
I feel like it's too far from me.
Yeah, it took her 2 weeks to recover from that. And during that time, Heather felt the woman return to take over her body many times. And Heather would push her away. She'd burn sage in the house to get rid of the negative energy. And it took weeks to finally get the woman to stop coming after her.
Oh my.
And that was the first and last time that she attempted to channel an entity.
I guess. Fuck.
So now Massachusetts Ghost Hunters Paranormal Society come. And there's this guy, Peter. And he's kind of known to be the group's like ghost magnet.
Oh.
Yeah. He is leaving the copper room. It's another bedroom. I'm assuming it just
has a lot of copper in it.
Copper. He's leaving and a full-bodied apparition pops up in his face. It's 8 feet tall, has a black cape, a white skeleton face, and eyes the size of billiard balls, and they are solid black. And it rose into the air, and then it melted into the ceiling.
Weird.
What? I don't like it.
That doesn't sound necessarily like a human ghost necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
So now Bill Wallace from the beginning.
Sorry. So Bill Wallace was the first person to knock on the door?
He was the one who knocked on the door when Mark and Suzanne lived there, because he was like, he's a psychic medium, and he's a very gifted psychic medium at that. And he was just very drawn. He had
right. Okay.
So he's sitting across the street in a hotel at the bar. He's hearing from Maddie, is telling him like they are not happy. Ed,
they being who?
The ghosts.
Okay.
They're not happy. Ed and Lil are having too many people come to this house to investigate.
Yeah.
And they're making it worse. They're bringing spirits in that don't need to be here.
Gotcha.
The ghosts are mad at them. Bill, he decides to go knock on the door and introduce himself to Ed and Lil. And he told them everything that he knew from Mark and Suzanne and just everything that he had learned himself from talking with the spirits. And Ed and Bill became really good friends. And, you know, Bill told Ed, you gotta chill out with these investigations. Your spirits are not happy. So Ed...
Understandable too, though.
Well,
if there was like people coming in to investigate the living all the time, I would be like, oh, fuck off. I'm just trying to exist here.
I would turn them into ghosts.
Yeah.
Get the fuck up. So Ed, he did slow down letting people come for investigations.
Gotcha.
And as weeks went by, the house gradually goes back to normal. And I don't know what happened here, but a few months go by. I don't know if Edwin is bored or what, but he starts letting them come back.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So this group of investigators from Connecticut, not named, has this woman named Kaylee with them. And she was acting very weird. She was like jerking her head around, like she was trying to look at something just everywhere. And then at one point he was talking to the group and she just leaves the room. And then she comes back a little bit later, white, like terrified, mortified. And she tells them that there was an apparition that appeared in her face. It was a woman.
Another one.
Third one. It was a woman with dark hair, blue dress, white apron, and eyes that are solid white.
That's creepy.
The white scares me more than the black.
Same.
About the head being all jerky, she told Ed that it was because she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching her, so she was moving her head all fast, trying to catch
whatever was watching her.
So she goes home, and a shadow person followed her to her house. She would wake up feeling like she's pinned to her bed. She would have strange scratches. She was absolutely terrified, so she called her group to try and come and rid her of this entity, and they ended up making it worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it got worse and worse, and she lived with it for 3 months until finally, I guess, she got the idea to spray holy water in every single nook and cranny of her house, and it went away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right after that, she dropped out of the team and she stopped investigating.
Oh, wow.
Sarah.
That's like my worst fear.
Literally. Yeah. Bringing something home with you.
Well, and then like having something so terrifying happening that I never want to investigate again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another woman, Sarah, she's another medium. She believes that the boy ghost was the Red Room ghost's son, so the prostitute's son.
Okay.
And after his mother was murdered, she was certain that this little boy was murdered after his mom was.
Oh, my gosh.
And that his body was buried somewhere on the property. Pelvic bone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I do have pictures of the pelvic bone, too.
That's so sad.
So psychics would come and do cleanses of the house, and it would get worse. Paranormal investigators would provoke the ghosts. Lil got to the point where, like, she's kind of over it. She's getting frustrated.
No doubt.
These investigators are ruining her antique furniture that she, like, really loved and she collected. And they were ruining it, scratching it with their shit. And this one day, like, Edwin's sitting on the couch and this voice tells him to go to the door. So he does. And then he catches a team of investigators with a box full of records that he had collected from other mediums and psychics and investigators and all this stuff that he learned about the house.
Yes.
Box. They were trying to steal it. And then he asked them what they were doing. And they were like, oh, we didn't think you needed it. So we, like, snatched it out of their hands. Could you imagine?
What assholes?
Could you imagine?
No, I would never. That's very fucked up.
I know. And then this one time, Ed found a homemade Ouija board. And he showed it to Michael Cram, who was an investigator that Ed was really comfortable with, I guess. Like, they were, you know,
pals,
I guess.
I think that name actually sounds familiar for some reason.
Oh, does it? Interesting. There's nothing else about him other than this one little bit, actually, in the whole book.
No, weird.
Yeah. Michael told him that people need to be really careful with those. If it's in the wrong hands, it could open portals and invite things to come in that you don't want in. And he was like, it's essentially like leaving your front door open for, like,
spirits and entities.
And he was like, because people could, like, open a session with a Ouija board, not close it, and then, you know, I guess that's a thing.
Well, I've heard that. I always go back to, I think that it depends on your beliefs. Right. And, like, if you're afraid that something is going to happen and you're using a Ouija board, then, like, in a sense, like, you're kind of, like, weakening yourself.
Right.
Versus if you're, like, confident and, like...
You gotta be tough, yeah.
I don't know.
You want to be dumb, you gotta be tough.
I don't think it's dumb to use Ouija board.
I touched that one today and I still feel weird about it.
Anyways, go on.
So after the Ouija board thing, Michael's walking around the house because he's a very gifted medium as well.
Okay.
And he's just walking around to see if anything was off. And 30 minutes later, he finds Ed and Lil, and he tells them that there's a woman ghost that he's not super stoked about.
Okay.
And she was brought here by someone,
Oh.
and she was pissed. And she was not going anywhere without a fight.
Interesting. That makes me wonder if the woman ghost that those two ladies had said was negative, was it really the prostitute, or was it a ghost that someone had brought there?
Right? I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Michael ended up leaving because he told them that he would come back and he was going to try and get rid of the ghost. He was going to do a cleanse, but he needed to go get his stuff and he'd come back another day.
Gotcha.
These two friends of Ed's, Derek and Bob, they come over because Ed had this idea of doing a haunted house Halloween event. Because their house was old. It was kind of falling apart. It needed shit.
Yeah.
It was cold. It had no heat.
Yeah.
So they figured it's a great way to raise some money and also let people from the town see the house because everyone kind of knew it's a
haunted house.
So Bob, Derek, and Edwin, they go upstairs. Back when this house was built, they had servants.
So there were servants' quarters.
There were servants' quarters. And they had down these hallways these fancy curtains so that they couldn't see the servants.
Right.
And vice versa. And this curtain was still there, but they had it hung up against the wall, pushed up with one of those fancy little tie things as just a decorative.
Okay.
They go upstairs and they see the curtain move as if someone's peeking.
Oh.
Yeah. So Bob goes over to check it out. As soon as he touches that curtain, he almost falls to the floor. He's pale. He's sick. He's not well.
Interesting.
So Lil, she comes to help him and she touches his shoulder and she almost falls. She is pale and she went to go rest on the couch and she felt like she had been drugged. She felt like her free will was being stripped away and that every second her world was fading into just nothingness. And she said it was a very slow burn of just laying there and fading out, basically.
Oh, that would be terrifying.
Yeah. And she laid there, her eyes were closed. It was a movie behind her head. She was seeing all these pictures, her in the woods, her and just all these weird things. It was the woman who took over her body was trying to tell her something.
Interesting.
And she would try to pull herself out of it, but something would pull her back in. She was in just a world of murky dreams, basically.
So they think that this is that negative woman that's doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lil laid on that couch and did not wake up for 3 days. She did not get off the couch to eat, to use the bathroom, or even stretch.
That's fucked.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
What was Ed doing while she was laying on the couch for 3 days?
Well, Ed, he was also going through hell during this time. Ed loved Lillian more than anything. They'd been together for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
He would do anything for her. And he knowingly left her on that couch, in a vegetative state for 3 days. Weird. A little weird, right? So
very concerning.
Yeah. So the day after Lil goes into this little sleep or whatever the fuck you want to call it, Edwin wakes up to the sound of a woman chanting again. And then he sees a woman floating by the window 4 feet off the ground. The woman has this innate sadness about her and he feels it it's his own and he's crying.
Oh.
He thought that this woman was Bessie, S.K. Pierce's daughter-in-law, the mother of the daughter, the 2-year-old.
The little 2-year-old girl.
And he could just feel this woman's pain over losing her daughter. So Ed fell into this deep depression. The 3 days that Lil was asleep, Edwin continued to see the crying woman at the window. Her cries went through him. They left him weak. He was basically sleepwalking through the day.
It's almost as if something is purposely keeping him obviously away from Lillian.
Yep, basically. So day 3 of Lil's out, Lillian's friend Marion comes knocking on the door because she had something for them. And Lillian does open the door. And Marion said that she looked like hell. And Lil always looked put together. She was good. She was always wearing silver jewelry. She looked great. And she was just not her normal, vibrant, happy self. She said that she was almost lifeless.
Oh, God.
Lil,
I guess if you've been laying there for 3 days, too, with no food or water, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Marion said that it seemed like Lil had a hard time even understanding anything that she was saying to her. And then Lil was like, okay, I'm going to go get Edwin. And she turns around, she goes to the grand staircase, takes a step.
Lillian's going to get Edwin?
Is going to get Ed. She takes a step, grabs under the railing, takes another step, and falls.
Oh.
Too weak to go up the stairs. Like, she can't do it.
Wow.
Marianne, she doesn't know what to do. She just thinks, I'm going to get her outside. She pulls her outside of the house. The second she pulls Lillian out the doorway, she's up. She's smiling. She's laughing. She's talking to Marianne like nothing happened. She's back to her normal, vibrant self.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. And then Lil is like, okay, well, I'm going to go inside the house and get Edwin to help carry in whatever it was that she brought for her. The second she steps into the house has a hold of her again. Like, she is out of it. She cannot walk up the stairs. She tries. Her legs give out. She falls to the floor.
See, and that makes me wonder, like, clearly some of these entities have followed people home, but then it's like maybe some are stuck within a certain area.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it, right?
Yeah.
So Marianne knocking on the door is what woke both of them up from this nightmare that they were stuck in.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Marianne left. Edwin made sure that Lillian ate, drank, and then he helped her up to bed because she was so weak. The minute she sank down into the bed, she starts screaming, "Get her off of me." She wasn't moving. She's paralyzed, but she's screaming with all of her might. Edwin runs around to the bed, to the side where she's at, and like, he doesn't know what to do. And then she just screams, "Push me, Edwin. Get her off of me." So Edwin gave her a good push and she rolled off the bed. After she hit the floor, she regained motion. She stood up. She was terrified. And Edwin went over. She just broke down and sobbed in his arms for hours.
And that's so sad.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I could not. No.
At that moment, Ed knew, like, he had to get her out, but he couldn't protect her anymore.
Right. They need to leave that house. Yeah.
So the next day, Bill Wallace, again, he has this feeling that something's up and he decides to go check on them. Knocks on the door. Ed lets him in. He walks into the kitchen and he sees Lil standing at the table, and he sees an apparition of a woman standing behind her with her hand on Lil's shoulder. And she looked like someone that you did not want to mess with. She made Bill like super uncomfy. As Bill stared at her, she was like smiling, like this really creepy smile.
Oh God.
Bill asked Lil like how she was doing, and slowly he saw Lillian's face start changing into the apparition's face, like as if she was like turning into her.
Holy fuck.
Lil told him, like, "No, I'm not okay." And she told him all about the last 3 days. Bill told her, like, very calmly, trying not to scare her, that the woman was still there and she was behind her. And he wanted her to know that something did take her over and it was still close to her, and it would take next to no effort for that woman to take over again. Bill turned to Ed now and he's like, "Where were you when all this happened?" And Ed was just like, "I don't know." He didn't know.
That's so crazy.
And then Bill kind of saw the reality. He said Ed was being influenced as well. The apparition knew that Ed would never let her take over Lil. So the apparition, along with some of the other spirits, they were keeping Edwin busy. Right. With his own stuff. They were putting him into a depression.
Wow.
Yeah. Edwin, he sobbed and he told Lil he was so sorry. He hardly remembered anything from those 3 days. Ed said that they absolutely have to get out of there. Bill agreed. If the apparition was strong enough to take Lil on for 3 days, like, come on.
Yeah, that's a very, very intelligent, strong entity.
And Bill was worried that if they did not get out of that house very soon, the house would win.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right. Yeah.
See ya. So then Ed called Michael Cram, who was that guy who said that he would come back to cleanse the house. He came back to do the cleansing. He did a Catholic rite of exorcism, and he sealed off the kitchen and the master bedroom, protecting them from future attacks. And I'll point out, because you told me this, that because he's not a priest.
Right.
And he shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, because according to the Catholic rite, in Catholicism, they say that it has to be a Catholic priest who has gone through the training and has been, like, I don't know, anointed, or I don't know what you call it. Yeah. But they have to have gone through that to perform an exorcism. Otherwise, it won't work. So
makes sense.
Interesting.
Lillian had told her family about everything that's been going on, and none of them were coming to her house. One sister came and she was like a huge skeptic. She was like, like
whatever,
nothing. And then something scary happened. She didn't come back. But they were worried about her. And Lil's sister was like, "Listen, you need to leave."
Yeah.
And then the sister ended up buying a house, and she called Lil and invited her and Edwin to live in their basement, which they did.
Oh, thank God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And so that was the week after Thanksgiving. Lil would make quick day trips to go to the house to get their stuff. Marion, their good friend, she would meet her there. Once all the rooms were empty, Marion was walking around the house, and she said that she just felt like there was a lot of sad eyes watching. And she wondered if the ghosts that were tied to the house knew about what the other ones had done to them.
Oh, that's so sad.
Mediums told them it was 8 ghosts that were tied to the house, and there was a multitude of other ghosts that were coming in and out of the house through portals that were opened by paranormal investigators.
Huh.
Who didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Interesting. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny because I keep saying anyone can do a paranormal investigation. You can, but just also if you are going to, make sure you think about protection and, you know.
So someone ended up breaking into the house after they were gone, and Lillian ended up giving Marion a key to the house, and Marion would go and at least
Keep an
once a
eye on
week
it.
to check on the house. And she would bring people, like the woman who wrote the book that I read, she went with Marion. And when they would go, things continued to happen. Like I have recordings that I'll send to you of those EVPs, and it's actually pretty neat.
If we can put any in, we will, and if not, we'll link it.
Yeah. So then Ghost Adventures, while they were not living there, called Ed.
So he had some technical difficulties. So if it looks a little different, that's why. Back to what you were saying.
We took a lunch break.
We did.
I had a hot dog and a poutine.
Me too. But we took the lunch break early because there was technical difficulties.
So Ghost Adventures call. Ed agrees. They go back to the house. They do Ghost Adventures. I watched the episode. It's good. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An investigator from Connecticut who is not named. He's known to attack other haunted venues. Sounds like a real...
And what you mean by that, explain what you mean by that.
He, like, accuses people of lying, like, oh, it's not really haunted. You just want your 15 minutes of fame type of deal. Real dickhead, real douche. So he did that to Lil and Ed, and he filed so many complaints that the town had to come in and shut them down, which was, which is a bummer because, Lil will never know what happened to the boy, what happened to the prostitute, if she did really die in the rent room, if the boy was her son, just all these questions that will never be answered. If a door slams, nobody's going to hear it. Running up and down the stairs, nobody's going to hear it. And then this one day she's sitting in the basement of her sister's house and she's watching TV. And this is in 2011. That's when they moved out, 2011. She's watching TV and all of a sudden TV goes static, and TVs don't do that in 2011.
Right.
Like she said, it was very weird. Like they don't do that anymore. And then in the static came a message that said, come back. And then it just went right back to her program.
Crazy.
They say if that house calls to you, you just keep going. Because all these people that passed the house, they stare and there's a break-in, probably just wanted to see it. Maybe the house was calling to them. I don't know, but don't do it, man.
They say don't answer the call.
The house now, you can pay to stay in the house. You can go and do an investigation. It looks very different now. Like the outside looks, I Googled photos. I have a photo from back when they lived there. It's still very much a Victorian mansion. However, the paint is not chipped. It's like new paint. It looks better from,
Right.
Because when they lived there, I believe it was yellow.
Okay, good.
And now it's like, it looks like a really dark purple. Maybe it's almost like they painted it to look like a haunted house.
Interesting.
Which, whatevs.
This story made me think about like just driving by houses or walking by houses, like because the house almost had like this hold on them, and it very much reminded me of the Sally house.
Yes.
It's like, how many houses do we drive or walk by that like have a hold on people? That's what I'm curious about.
I know. Yeah. It does make me curious. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a building that I've just been like, oh, I have to go. I don't think I have.
That is a crazy, crazy story.
I know.
It's a very interesting story. I would love to stay there overnight. We are going to finish this episode off with a follower story. And if you have a story that you want us to potentially read at the end of an episode, you can send it to justalittlestitiousPod@gmail.com.
Or also, if your story is really good, You could send us a video maybe.
Yeah, of
Come
you
on.
talking about it.
Chat about it. We can blur your face.
Yeah, you could send a video or a voice recording.
To Just a Little Stitious, to our Facebook, to our email, to our Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of it.
So this story is from John Dietrichs. I'm going to read it. We were in Hobbs, New Mexico, which is a town that's notorious for its ghost stories. We were there for a golf tournament. We were staying at a hotel there that also had a lot of ghost stories surrounding it, and all of us were on edge staying there, but it was the only option according to our coaches. We get into our rooms and we're talking about how weird it was that we had to stay there. As we were all laying down to go to bed, we heard knocking and thumping on the walls. We thought it was our teammates messing with us, but they were a few rooms down, so it weirded us out even more. We tried to go to sleep, and one of my teammates said that his back started hurting and asked if it was bleeding.
Ooh.
He rolled over and had scratches all over his back.
Ooh.
We are in a full-blown panic now and turn on the TV thinking it would help us to calm down. We all relaxed a little more, and then I started feeling something tickling my legs.
Ugh. Yuck.
It felt like a cat rubbing itself on my feet, and all of a sudden, the phone rang. We picked it up, and there was no one on the other line. We slept with the lights on that night, and the next day, I had scratches on my ankles, and my buddy had scratches on his back. Where we thought we heard the thumping come from, there were dirty foot and handprints across the top of the wall. Something I still actively think about to this day. It's a short one, but fuck, that's creepy.
Holy cow, John.
That is, the footprints,
That's nuts.
Is-
No.
like, that's weird.
No, I don't like that. It reminds me of like those movies there, those ones where these scary like people are like crawling on this.
Like that one we watched at your house with like the
Yes.
spider,
that
which
one.
reminded me of the Jorogumo from Japanese folklore. It was really cool. It was a really good movie. What was it called? Do you remember?
Web or something.
I don't
Something
know.
Web, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but it had the girl from Mean Girls in it.
Yes.
The girl who is like
Janice.
had Janice in it.
She was mom.
Yeah, you know, Arthur picked it, so we kind of thought it was going to be,
Yeah. My husband is a very shitty movie picker.
but it was. I liked it. I really liked it. Anyways,
Yeah, that was his first good pick. It was great.
thanks for listening.
See ya.
Want to get creeped out? Welcome to Just a Little Stitious.
Where things go bump in the night, and sometimes it's just your fridge.
Or us tripping over furniture. Or something terrifying lurking in the dark.